Hey, welcome back everyone. I hope everyone out there is having a great day or night wherever you are. A lot of fans out there have been very curious about the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney, Lucasfilm, Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, you name it, and exactly what the future of the franchise is really going to compare to the Kathleen Kennedy era, right? We do know that Bob Iger and Chapek are really trying their absolute best to really bring Star Wars back to the way it used to be before 2012. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Disney Star Wars is that we do know that they already have already got over 10 years worth of Star Wars projects in the works for Disney Plus alone, and that is just for TV shows. That's completely separate from movies, which only goes to show you exactly how ambitious Disney really is and how pretty much, engaged they really are within the Star Wars universe. They really want to make it as expansive as the old EU back in the 1990s and the early 2000s. That's going to take a lot of time and effort, like I've said before, and it's also going to take a lot of success. In reality, these shows, these movies, they're going to have to be, smashing success points in each and every storyline. That's really going to create a high success rate. You want to have this successful flow of Star Wars TV shows and movies in a row in order to really get it up to the same exact level as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is exactly what Disney is aiming to do. Disney is aiming to do something incredible with both the MCU and the Star Wars universe that's really going to attract other Marvel fans and Star Wars fans. I mean, look at what's happening with the supposed quote-unquote Spider-Verse with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and, other characters coming into play here from past Marvel films. But I digress. Now, one thing about Kathleen Kennedy, however, that's really intriguing is that with the Skywalker saga now over, both Disney and Lucasfilm are busy with their new Star Wars universe in order to create a brand new Star Wars universe overall that will attract new and old fans around the world. Now, it's explained that currently both Bob Iger and Bob Chapek are developing multiple ways in order to reunite the Star Wars fandom so that they can turn the franchise into a smash success throughout the entire decade and beyond. However, it's described that one project that Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy is still attached to is the leslye Headland Star Wars TV series for Disney+. It's described that Kathleen Kennedy is still calling the shots on the series, however, recently made a major change to the series that will betray the Star Wars fans and creator George Lucas. It's noted that recently Kathleen Kennedy made the ultimate decision to rewrite a great portion of George Lucas's philosophy of the Star Wars franchise in the new Star Wars TV show, and that Kathleen Kennedy also recently made another bold decision to make the series in a way that will retcon portions of the prequels and the originals in a very negative way for the Star Wars fandom that George Lucas and Bob Chapek are not very happy about as we speak. So let's stop right here for a second. This is a major problem among many Star Wars fans. A lot of fans have always been very unhappy with Kathleen Kennedy's direction of Star Wars, and here she is going at it again, betraying George Lucas, betraying the Star Wars fans by rewriting the philosophy of Star Wars and what Star Wars really means at the very end of the day. Once again, this is a primary example here that Kathleen Kennedy does not care about the fans per se. She doesn't care about what the fans actually want to see in Star Wars. This is essentially her turning her back on not just George, but also the Star Wars community as a whole. And that, to me, I think spells a big problem. Do I think that this is going to be a moment in which it's going to break the franchise, where it's a show that's going to completely, draw a lot of Star Wars fans away permanently? I'm not quite sure about that. But I do believe that what it is going to be is that it's going to be a massive failure that's going to create some problems for Disney Plus overall when it comes to Star Wars. I don't think it's necessarily going to affect the Star Wars universe that George, John, and Dave are working on, since Kathleen Kennedy is not involved with that universe for the most part. This is basically her one chance to do what she wants to do in the Star Wars world. And, well, like I've said, this is exactly what she has always wanted to do with Star Wars. So, beyond all of this, Kathleen Kennedy is said to include many negative, of course, and agenda-driven decisions for the Star Wars fandom and for this Star Wars TV show in particular that George Lucas and Bob Chapek are not very happy about. Kathleen Kennedy is said to include many, of course, negative and agenda-driven retcons in the new Star Wars TV series that will also have a massive impact on the prequels and originals for the Star Wars franchise. You know, this kind of reminds me of a couple of months ago, there was a project that was going to be an animated form that Kathleen Kennedy was fired from, and that was actually going to be an animated redo or remake, if you will, of the original trilogy. That was completely thrown into the trash, thankfully. And here we have a similar scenario, though, where the Leslye show is going to have major implications on the prequels and originals. Now, there is still hope, and we'll just get to that in just a couple of minutes from now. Now, George Lucas is said to be in a battle with Kathleen Kennedy in an attempt to stop this from happening, and that they are trying to work things out overall. Kathleen Kennedy is best described to also be giving Leslye Headland pointers on how to make the series that will rewrite history of the Jedi and the Sith in ways that will be catered to her and her personal agendas and overall storyline in the Star Wars TV show for Disney+. It's explained that Kathleen Kennedy made these decisions behind George Lucas's back for the Leslye show, and that Lucas feels betrayed once again, just like what she did with Star Wars Episode 9. The series is said to have a massive impact on the aspect of Anakin Skywalker as the true chosen one, and that Kathleen Kennedy is finding ways to undo that in this new Star Wars project that is currently in active development, that is still set for a release sometime in 2022 on Disney+. Now, without a doubt, guys, this most likely has to do with making Maeve the primary chosen one in the Star Wars universe. In case you guys have been out of the loop, Maeve is going to be a Jedi god, in a sense, being portrayed by Brie Larson so far. Now, we do know that there are already creative differences between Larson, Kennedy, and Headland. At no surprise, you know, it's all because of Brie Larson being very overly demanding of what she wants to be like in this new Star Wars show. So Kathleen Kennedy really going up against George, alright? Not a huge surprise, but at the end of the day, you know, this just once again proves that Kathleen Kennedy has no remorse of what she is doing. So, when we look back at what Kathleen Kennedy has done to the Star Wars fandom, not only has she divided it, but she has also promised things that never came out to be. She promised to take care of those Star Wars characters back in that 2013 interview, where she was saying that right in front of George Lucas's face, obviously lying to him right then and there. Very disrespectful in my opinion. So, what do I think is going to happen out of all of this, obviously? Well, I don't think that there's too much to worry about, because let's think of it this way. This is the only project that Kathleen Kennedy has a lot of control over. You got George, John, and Dave working on dozens of Star Wars projects. If they really want to, they can just do their own retcons of retcons if they want to do. As ridiculous as that sounds, and as crazy as it may seem to some Star Wars fans out there, they could absolutely do retcons of retcons that will undo what Kathleen Kennedy is set to undo in this Star Wars TV show, if that makes a lot of sense right there. So I wouldn't be too worried about this. Now, Kathleen Kennedy is also said to be in the talks again with director Rian Johnson to come on board to direct an episode or two for the Leslye Headland Star Wars TV series to give Johnson another chance at Star Wars. Now, this is a decision that George Lucas is also not very happy about in the long run, since what Rian Johnson did with The Last Jedi as a film, and how it had such a terrible impact on the Star Wars fandom. Now, additionally, it's described that George Lucas is also trying to prevent this from happening by speaking with Bob Chapek. However, due to Kathleen Kennedy's contract, there are fewer options of what they can personally change, after Lucas already made some regulations in the Star Wars TV show. However, Lucas is still working with Favreau and Filoni to make Star Wars as best as possible, and still have the chance to undo what Kathleen Kennedy did with Leslye Headland's Star Wars TV series. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, I mean, I think that we're still on the road to success with Star Wars. It's just that this one project is going to create a lot of problems for Star Wars fans, for other creators a part of Lucasfilm that are trying to fix the Star Wars franchise and beyond, right? So, I think that regardless out of all of this, George, John, and Dave, they still have a chance to really undo what Kathleen Kennedy is about to retcon in this new Star Wars show with, of course, Headland and Brie Larson. So like I've said before in the past, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.